There were times when, even though I would be dating 4 or 5 girls simultaneously, I mean, I was 19 now and I was popular. I mean, what do you expect? I was in year 2. I'll be dating 4 or 5 girls at the same time. None of them will be available sometimes. None of them. I would want to get it going on. But none of them. I would walk to Moremi Hall to see one girl. She would not be around. Remember, there were no mobile phones back then. You couldn't call ahead. You couldn't say you were coming. You just showed up and you hoped. So she wouldn't be around in Moremi Hall. Then I'd walk another quarter mile to Madam Tinubu Hall. She would tell me it was her time of the month. And then I would go downstairs on the ground floor to see another girl. And that one wouldn't want to talk to me because I'd probably offended her. She had most likely discovered that I was dating another girl in the same hall on the top floor. And then I would walk another half mile to Amina Hall by the gate. And that would be something else entirely. She was either sick or she was also two-timing. She was dating another guy and both of them had gone off on a date. So nothing. 4 irons in the fire. None of them heating up. Literally, we say in Ajawa that Okorin meni bona o le fi kankan sise. Happy New Year. As my father, Gbadigeshi Oyelakin, used to say, and as we say in Ajawa, Ajawa is a town in western Nigeria. That's where I'm from. We say, Akwalaja odun, odun owo, odun omo, odun alubarika o. Which just means that just blessings for you on every front. Okay? Now, as we're about to enter a new year, or as we've entered the new year, let me tell you something about life. And I'm going to use sex, relationships, and marriage as the illustration. But understand this clearly. I'm actually talking about life. Now, a lot of people think that married people are having no sex. You know, that has been going around now, especially on social media, that marriage is where sex goes to die. Other people think that when you get married, you will finally have sex on demand. You know, whenever you want it, however you want it, and in whatever quantity. And then everybody thinks attractive single people are having all the sex they want. That if you're single and you're attractive, you are having sex as you want it. They are all wrong. Because here's the truth, and I need you to hear it plainly. The sex isn't better anywhere. It's not better on the other side. And neither is anything else in life. This is something fundamental about life that most of us don't understand. Whatever decision you make, whatever move you make, you are not escaping problems. You're just exchanging them. If you're single and you get married because you want companionship or children or stability, you're exchanging one set of problems for another. If you are married and you're frustrated, you're tired of the sexlessness, you're tired of the disrespect, and you're thinking of leaving, you are also exchanging one set of problems for another. And if you decide to remain single because you don't want the responsibilities of marriage and all the stories you're hearing, you too, you're still choosing problems, just a different kind, and often ones that will increase with time. Everywhere in life, there are problems. Let me give you an image that will help us understand this better. Let me go deeper with an image. Have you ever come into your room after a long day and you just flopped on your bed on your stomach? You lie down on your stomach. And in that moment, it feels like the most comfortable position in the world. You feel like you could stay there forever. You see. But give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Your stomach starts to hurt. Your neck starts to ache. And then you turn over onto your back. Now, there is relief again. You think this is the position. This one is better. But after another 10 minutes or so, your back starts complaining. And then you turn onto your side. And so on and so on. And then after about 8 or 10 hours maximum, the very act of lying in bed becomes unbearable. You can't wait to get out of bed. Staying in bed begins to make you feel sick. This is why people who are non-ambulatory in hospitals, people who cannot move, this is why they develop bed sores. They have to be turned from position to position, because if you leave them in one position for too long, sores begin to develop on their bodies. They fester, they leak. the very thing that was meant to support them begins to wound them. There is no position in life without its problems. Now, let me speak from experience, not to boast, just to tell you the truth so that you can find this more relatable. Today, I want to tell you about something important: getting your taxes done the right way. So I've heard stories of people having to pay huge fines because they misfiled their taxes. This is something you can easily avoid by working with professionals, and I recommend FinServ Pro. Whether it's individual taxes or business tax filing, they take the pressure off your shoulders. And the best part, they don't just do the work, they also teach you how to make smarter financial decisions. So, if you want to enjoy peace of mind, especially during tax season, which is almost always around the corner, get FinServ Pro involved. Okay? Do it today.
Yeah.
People think that if you're single and you're attractive and you're desired and able to attract the opposite sex for whatever reason, people think you will always have sex on tap, sex on demand, sex on call, whenever you want it, however you want it. That has never been true. And I knew this as far back as when I was in the university. Because when I was in the University of Lagos, as some of you know, I appeared in one of the biggest movies of that era in Africa. It was called Diamond Ring. So naturally, as you can expect, my interactions with the opposite sex on campus became easier. And yet, I remember thinking this very clearly on more than one occasion. Yet, there were times when, even though I would be dating 4 or 5 girls simultaneously, I was 19 now and I was popular. What do you expect? I was in year 2. I'll be dating 4 or 5 girls at the same time. None of them will be available sometimes. None of them. I would want to get it going on. But none of them. I would walk to Moremi Hall to see one girl. She would not be around. Remember, there were no mobile phones back then. You couldn't call ahead. You couldn't say you were coming. You just showed up and you hoped. So she wouldn't be around in Moremi Hall. Then I'd walk another quarter mile to Madam Tinubu Hall. She would tell me it was her time of the month. And then I would go downstairs on the ground floor to see another girl. And that one wouldn't want to talk to me because I'd probably offended her. She had most likely discovered that I was dating another girl in the same hall on the top floor. And then I would walk another half mile to Amina Hall by the gate. And that would be something else entirely. She was either sick or she was also two-timing. She was dating another guy and both of them had gone off on a date. So nothing. 4 irons in the fire. None of them heating up. Literally, we say in Ajawa that Okorimeni Bona, you have 4 irons in the fire, none of them heating up for you to work on. And I remember back in those days, walking back to my room, frustrated and thinking, did these women form a coven? Did they somehow meet and decide to frustrate me? Because this is ridiculous. I laugh now, but I used to actually think that. And then this didn't end in the university. Even as a single young man in town, doing my thing in the entertainment industry, jumping around the place, the same thing would happen every now and again. And the point I'm making is simple. The fact that you're single and attractive or whatever, for whatever reason you have for attracting the opposite sex, does not mean that you will always have sex whenever you want it.
Yeah, let me just add this. This is unusual, but we inadvertently forgot to record this when we're doing the recording, and this thing will not be complete without this bit. This is very key. Have you ever wondered why some of the most successful people in the world, especially men, famous, rich, and all of that, why they are sometimes arrested and busted for soliciting prostitutes, for paying for sex? And then you're thinking, but this person can have almost anybody they want. Why would they have to pay for sex? Amongst other reasons is this idea that we're talking about, the idea that you feel that because you have what it takes, the articles of grace to attract the opposite sex, you can always have sex whenever you want it. That might be the case most of the times, but sometimes it just won't be available. It doesn't matter the number of women you have. Nothing will just pan out. And then that is when they descend to underhanded means and doing anything to get the sex. That's when they start paying for prostitutes. And once they go down that slippery slope, it is hard to come back. It is this loss of the sense of delayed gratification. And again, as we've said, it's not only about sex, it's anything in life, really. This idea that because you have what it takes, you will always have what you want, when you want it, how you want it. Life doesn't work that way. There are going to be late nights when you have to be on your own. And if you've lost all sense of discipline and you've bought into the delusion of constant availability, you will start to do things that will eventually get you into trouble. Dangerous things. Okay, let's go back to the main video now.
And now let me tell you the other part that nobody tells you. Even if you had all the sex you wanted, whenever you wanted it on demand, you would get tired of it. You would reach a point where the thought of any more sex just makes you sick. And depending on how much you've had or been having, sometimes it makes you sick for weeks. King Solomon said it perfectly. To a soul that is full, to a soul that is satisfied, even honey is bitter. Even the sweetest thing in the world is repulsive. So even if you're single and having all the sex you want, you will still find yourself restless at the end of the day. You will still desire something more. Which is why I can tell you this confidently. Listen to me. If you leave your marriage today purely out of sexual frustration or some other kind of dissatisfaction, you will still face problems where you're going. Different problems. Sometimes equal, sometimes greater ones. Sometimes maybe less. But problems. Now, let's be very clear. I am not saying stay in abusive or dangerous relationships or situations. That's not what I'm saying. There are dynamics that threaten your life, your soul, and your well-being. That is a different conversation entirely. What I'm talking about here is normal frustration, that restlessness that makes us want to run when things are no longer delivering what we assumed they would. And Job put it plainly in the Bible, in the book of Job. Man is born unto trouble. As sparks fly upwards from a fire, man is born unto trouble. We're born to solve problems. You will never reach a point in life where you do not have problems. And that's not a curse, because some of us will go, I reject it. You're just making yourself feel good. I might as well say I will never get to a point in life where I don't have problems. I don't even want that. Because maturity is not the absence of problems. Maturity is the ability to handle problems. And as we say in Ajawa, the prayer is that God should never let us be faced with problems that we don't have the capacity to handle. So it's not the absence of problems, it's the capacity to handle the problems. So when frustration shows up, when restlessness shows up, don't treat it like an instruction. Treat it like a warning light. Warning lights tell us that something needs attention, not that we should abandon the car or the vehicle. Sometimes frustration means adjust. Sometimes it means investigate. Sometimes it's simply life being life. Don't make irreversible decisions based solely on restlessness or frustration, because every move you make is an exchange. We already said that. And the cost of the new set of problems may be far higher than the cost that you're paying for the set of problems that you're facing right now. So the question is not whether you will have problems or not. The real question is this: which problems are you designed and graced to handle? Paul prayed for a problem to be taken away. 3 times he asked God, and God said no, because the grace he was given was already sufficient for that problem. So choose wisely. Don't run away from problems you were providentially designed and graced to carry into problems that will overwhelm you. That is clarity. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your celebrations. I'll see you in a couple of days.